invite you to come to lie on your backs, on your mats. You can have a block handy or a bolster. You can pull your favorite pillow off the sofa. This is from Current Home in Scarsdale. Amazing store. Wishing them well. Set your pillow down and just begin on your back. Give yourself about a block's width of space between yourself and your bolster. Set your block aside and slowly lower yourself down, allowing the natural curve of the low back to be supported. Let the head go. And then on the legs, you can reach them long like Shavasana. You can bend the knees and open them by bringing the soles of the feet together. Hands can rest on the hip bones. Or if the shoulders are open, you can grab opposite elbows and let the arms come overhead. Now for me, that's about as far as I can go given my personal body. So I'm just going to let my hands come back down and make adjustments so that you feel very comfortable and you're breathing. Inhale deeply, belly lifts. Exhale slowly, body relaxes. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Two more like that. Gaze stays up or eyes closed. Exhale. Every deep breath you're feeling more relaxed. Last one like that. Exhale, exhale. Good, and then opposite legs, knees and thighs together. Feet come as wide as the mat. Maybe lift the hips to adjust the low back. And if you have opposite elbows, take the opposite elbow overhead so you can get those elbows all the way down to the mat. If you can't, perhaps one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And you breathe here for 5. Feeling the body lift and lower. About 2.5 more. You can switch the hands. Eventually, you're breathing in and out of the nose. Lips stay lightly touching. And then slowly roll off your bolster or your pillow. Set your props aside, but keep them handy. Come back onto the spine. Pull the knees to the chest. Now lower down one elbow at a time. Let the head relax back. Hug the shins. You start to make little circles, clock and counterclock, or just gently rock side to side. Cross one ankle and one wrist. Finding deep breaths. Inhale, 3 more. Two more. Switch the opposite leg on top. Last one. And in Happy Baby, we uncross the legs. The hands reach on the inside of the knees, and the peace fingers collect the big toes. The heels lift over the knees, and you just take a deep breath to begin. Keep the eyes closed, and you can feel more. sight out of the stimulus. Just breathing, noticing the sensations. Think of a baby in the crib. Heels are over the knees here. Tailbone is pressing down into the mat. You can sort of equally pull the feet towards you, but then kick the feet into the peace fingers, the yoga toe lock. One more breath. Some of us can even straighten our legs here. The trick is to keep the head and shoulders on the mat. Exhale. Release, bring the knees together, and you're going to roll up to seated. Or you're going to roll to one side. Maybe take a couple of rolls up and down the backbone. Feels so good. And if you can get your feet over your head, start to massage the upper backbone. Nice and slow. Just seated. Pigeon pose. The left leg reaches back behind you. Now let me show this from the front. The front knee is outside of the right wrist. The back foot is coming right out back from the hip. Now, the base foot can be forward, depending on your knee. Oh, I can feel that. I got to pull that back a little bit. So I'm going to bring that foot closer to my left hip bone. So mirrored in the video. I'll have to switch up the left, right, left, right. Whatever leg is forward, that knee is outside of that wrist, and that foot is somewhere between that hip and that other wrist. Good, and then from here, maybe you have your pillow handy. Nice to do a supported pigeon. Walk the arms out in front of you. Slowly descend into a fold. Maybe taking another moment just to refine the posture. I like to tuck the back toes underneath. You can always come out of something and then come back into it. As yogis, we love to refine. KK Clivio once said that to me. We lift up, and then we come down to forearms, to the bolster or the mat. Take a moment. Some more length, inhale, exhale, fold. So staying down, holding for 2 to 10 minutes when you take a pigeon. Yeah, you could do it for 10. Taking what you need to open up the outer hip. We hold so much tension in this area. And the challenge is to find your deep, rhythmic, beautiful breath. Allow your mind to become focused on the breath. So as you're taking these longer holds, these yin-style poses, it's very easy to get caught up in our minds. Allow yourself to find breath focus, breath awareness. Good, 10 more breaths. Walking the hands back under the armpits. to the mat. You're going to very slowly roll to the outer hip. Swing that back leg out in front of you, coming into a cross-legged seat, nice and slow. Straighten out that leg that was just in the bind. Turn towards the extended leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Breathe. And play with lifting the chin and notice how that changes the stretch. Feeling this behind the back of the long leg. Feeling this up the muscles that connect the hip to the low back. Just another breath or two as you release. Good idea to keep pulling the heart away from the hips. Getting more length will give you more sensation. So rather than just rounding because you can, we want to try and lengthen, lift, then sort of hinging and folding without just collapsing into it. You can get so much farther. Slowly lift up. Walk the hands back, pigeon on the other side. You can switch sides. You can start to get creative with your transitions. So the knee is wider than the wrist. And the back toes sort of become like a rudder on the ship to steer that hip forward. Then you can relax the top of the feet. Deciding if that foot is coming closer to the opposite wrist or a little bit in between. Split the difference. Take what you need. And when you're ready, fold and relax. Pigeon. If it's too much on your knee, we take a modification on our backs. I'll show you that after about 20 breaths in pigeon. Allow yourself to sink into gravity here. Let go of any resistance. Keep holding. Maybe you hear some sounds of construction in the background. I live in New Rochelle, and it's good to see people out working. There's a big tower going up right out of my view. Here I can see it off in the distance. Men are still out there plugging away, even during this time. Comforting. About 10 more breaths. Just see if you can go a little deeper. Allow yourself to sink in. Three or four more cycles of breath. Just focusing on the breath mentally. Letting the breath soothe the nervous system. When you're ready, the hands walk back. Palms to the mat under the shoulders. Roll to the outer hip very carefully. can slowly unfold that leg. Be very aware of the knee. You can bend the opposite leg in, that might feel good, and then turn towards the extended leg. Inhale, lift. Start to walk and fold. Again, we're working on that hinge rather than that rounding and collapsing. So keep lifting up through the heart. I like to look at the top of my unpedicured foot. And this time is staying in. Walk the hands out, fold deeper. And then when you know that you're feeling a nice amount of sensation in both sides of the hip, the low back is getting a twist here, and of course, the length behind the back leg, you can drop the head and just pause here, take another 5 breaths. Slowly rising. Coming back to your cross-legged seat. Maybe some seated cat-cows feel really good about now. Right about now. Go for it. Inhale is the back bend. Exhale, opposite direction, chin to chest. Coming back to center. In double pigeon, we really can dig deeper into that same area of the body, the hips, where the upper body and the lower body connect. So we're always working to make sure that's in good standing. Now we begin with, you may want to roll your pants up so you can see your body. This is very helpful. The idea is to stack shin over shin. Not so easy. Line them up. Look down. You should have sort of a nice equilateral triangle forming. And your hip will let you know. Maybe you need to take your block, prop it. Feels so good just to have something to drop the knee onto. If you think you can go a little bit deeper, you don't need the block. You drop the knee to the opposite ankle. Maybe you need to lift up a little bit and find it. And that's a big ass hip opener right there. And maybe you want to go even farther. So stay here and breathe. You're getting a nice amount of energy in the top leg hip. I'm going to go farther, hands out in front of you. Inhale, you're lifting and lengthening. Exhale, break the elbows, leading with the chin now. Oh, getting much deeper. And you can come all the way down, or you can keep the hands and sort of press the fingertips down and away from you to get the sensation by rooting into the hips. Lots of ways to explore double pigeon or fire log. See what's best for you. Breathe in that space. 5 more here. Sometimes we can go too far into the fold, come out of it a bit. You'll feel much better. Good. And slowly lift up. Yeah, switching sides. This is your 20-minute hip opening home practice. Practically there already. Breathing in, stacking the shins, propping up if you need something under the block. Eventually, the ankle is past the knee. Keep breathing, perhaps adding a fold, or just staying up tall and feeling sensation. And even the sirens in the background become an interesting tool. Can I take a deep breath and be so immersed and interested in how that breath feels in my own body in that moment that even the sounds of the sirens begin to dissipate. This is yogi mind control. We start to learn how to tune things out and tune things in. Good. You're coming back up. Slowly unfold the legs.